Welcome to horse riding, and welcome to this yard, which is licensed under the Riding Establishments Licensing Act. Yards and stables are exciting places to be, but there are some very important rules to follow and things to watch out for in order for you to remain safe and fully enjoy your horse riding experience. This video will guide you through the process of getting ready for your first riding lesson and some of the do's and don'ts of being around horses. Following this briefing, you will be asked to complete a rider registration and declaration form, which may look something like this. We will use this information to best assess how we handle your experience today and for your return to the yard. It asks for your name and contact information, your date of birth, and some more personal information like your weight and height and your previous riding experience. All of this information is used in conjunction with some other information to make sure you are matched with the right horse and pony for your size and ability. We also ask for information regarding your doctor, next of kin and emergency contact details. And we ask that you read and sign the declaration on the form confirming your acceptance. It is important that this form is completed accurately, and for those of you under 18, a responsible adult must complete and sign on your behalf before riding. Horse riding, like many outdoor pursuits, can be dangerous, so as a licensed riding school we take every reasonable precaution to ensure that accidents and injuries are kept to a minimum. Riding may not be suitable for some people with medical conditions, those who are on medication, or ladies who are pregnant, nor is it suitable for people who are under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Please discuss with your instructor if you are not sure about any of these. Horses have been ridden for transportation and pleasure for over 4,000 years. It is one of the earliest known methods of working with animals and transportation. Whether it's riding for leisure or competition, the skill of horse riding will be one that you will cherish, and we look forward to helping you on your way.
The appropriate selection of rider footwear is just as important as a good riding hat. You may be given a long, tall riding boot or a short ankle boot. Whatever type of footwear you have your riding experience in, it's really important that it has a smooth, firm sole, a good solid heel that's at least ½ an inch deep, and a solid structure through the centre of the foot. When you go to get on your horse or pony, you'll find on the saddle this metal structure that your foot is going to fit into. That's called the stirrup. It's attached to the saddle by this strap referred to as a stirrup leather. It's important to make sure that the stirrup that you're going to be using is the right size for your footwear. A boot such as this one is too wide. Your foot will go into the stirrup at the widest part of the cross section of your foot, and here you can see there's no gap either side, and there's a danger that the foot could get stuck in the stirrup. This shoe with this stirrup is much too big, and it would move adversely in the stirrup itself. This boot is just right because at the widest part of the foot there's a thumb's measurement either side between the outer edge of the boot and the inside edge of the stirrup. That's what you want to be looking for when you put your foot in the stirrup. We're going to look now at riding hats. Your riding establishment will make sure that they're up to the appropriate safety standards, and you may have one of 3 types of hat to wear. There's either a velvet type riding hat, a jockey skull cap, or a riding helmet. Whichever type of riding hat you do end up wearing, there are a few things that you need to remember before you put it on your head. Firstly, whatever grips or slides you might be wearing, if you're a lady, make sure that they're removed. You don't want anything sharp or uncomfortable or potentially dangerous between your head and the helmet itself. When you do have the hat to put on, make sure you place it on your head so you position it from the front of your head, rolling round to the back. Not from the back to the front. That way it will never sit correctly. If you normally wear glasses and you need to wear them for your riding lesson, then make sure you're wearing them when the garment is fitted to your head. When we're selecting the riding hat for the rider, the first thing to do is to gauge what size is going to be appropriate to use. We can do this by measuring the rider's head around the widest part, allowing a finger's space at the temples so that it's comfortable when put on the head. Whilst this will give us an idea as to the size of garment, it won't guarantee the actual shape because of course the circumference isn't a guarantee of the actual shape of the rider's head. You may well now be provided with a body protector, often incorrectly referred to as a back protector. These won't stop you getting hurt if you should have the mishap of falling off, but they will give you a lot more protection than if you were not wearing one. There are two main types of these garments. Firstly, a tabard structure such as this one, or a vest-fronted one with a zip. The important point to remember with the zip-fronted one is that when you place it on, prior to doing the zip up, put a thumb either side under your arm and bring the garment together before you try and close the zip structure. When you're wearing your body protector, try and fit it as close to your frame as possible over loose, thin clothing. If it's a cold day and you want a pullover or a coat, place it on top. When selecting a body protector, place it on, and to make sure that it's appropriate for use, look to see that all the red indication markers are covered up. The manufacturers and the standard have these to ensure that you get adequate protection of the garment as it's designed. You can see that all of the red markers have been covered, any additional strappings have been fastened, that it's not too high at the throat, and that in line with her ribs it covers well the bottom of her rib, that at the side it's well fastened, and importantly at the back, when you're looking at the top, make sure it doesn't go above the prominent bone at the back of your neck.
The instructors will assess you and pair you with your riding partner, your horse or pony, for the length of your lesson. Your horse or pony will be fully equipped with all of the tack you will need for your first lesson. Here are some important parts which you must know more about before you start. The bridle is the leather straps which go around the horse's head and allow the rider to control the horse. The reins come from the bridle, and the bridle can be adjusted to pick the head up and lower the head, depending on the individual horse and how much control the rider wants to have. All the other pieces of tack around the horse's head are generally connected to the bridle in some way. The bit is the metal piece of tack which goes into the horse's mouth. The idea of it is that it can be used to direct the horse through pressure and never pain. There are many different types of bit, and most of them work in different ways to others. The phrase "getting the bit between the teeth" usually refers to when a horse tenses its mouth to grab the bit tighter, as the bit does not rest on the animal's teeth but on its gums. Some horses do learn to bite down on it with their molars. The saddle is one of the biggest individual pieces of tack. It is fairly self-explanatory with regards to what it is and what it is to be used for. Made of leather, a good saddle is vital. They are not cheap, but likewise it is not worth scrimping on them, for your comfort and safety and that of your horse is dependent on having a good saddle. The reins are the means by which the rider has control of the horse. It is absolutely vital that any new rider learns how to hold reins correctly from the start. Otherwise, the horse may well be confused. By pulling on the reins in different ways, the rider should be able to control all aspects of the horse's movement, including how fast it goes, what style of gait it uses, and whether it goes left, right, or straight. When combined with other actions, such as the use of the stirrup, a rider should have complete control of their mount. The stirrups are the metal hoops in which the rider puts their feet. They are needed to mount the horse and partly to control it when riding. They are also vital for balance and control of the rider's own body. The length of the stirrups may be adjusted depending on the individual rider and quite how much control they want to have in their feet. Some important tips to help you and your horse get on. Don't stand behind your horse. Horses can kick, so it is best to stay clear of this area in the unlikely event that a horse kicks out. Don't feed any of the animals in the yard unless you have permission of the instructor. When handling a horse, these are some great tips to follow. Need input from AS. Please also keep loud and unexpected noise to a minimum around horses to prevent spooking them. Please also remember whilst around the yard that all day, every day, people are working, equipment and machinery are being used, and it is important that you stay within the public areas unless accompanied by an instructor. As a licensed riding establishment, there will be a first aider on site at all times if you need one. Please remember to sanitise your hands before eating or drinking, and only eat or drink in allocated areas. Always remember to close gates behind you, and if you are in any doubt regarding anything in the yard, please ask an instructor or member of staff for advice. All of the yard staff are here to help you have an amazing, safe and rewarding experience. You have now been introduced to the yard, your horse and your equipment. Let's go riding!